G'day dear friends, welcome to Xrissart. My name is Chrissy. Thank you for joining me today. Well, today I've got a project which I pick up and drop all the time, and it's my colour pencil project. Now, I knew when I was coming into this that this was going to be it was going to take me a long time. So but I'm not in any rush with this, and I just wanted to share some of the the tips and tricks that I have. I know there's a lot of colour pencil artists out there. I've chosen not to use mineral spirits as a whole, but I weakened when it came to certain areas. It's just that it was just a bit too grainy for me. But I've got to say, I'm working on Stonehenge, but not the pad. I'm working on the, it's the big sheets where you cut them down, and this paper is just delightful. It's just delightful. Hang on a sec. Come here. It's just delightful. Sorry about that. It takes a lot of layers. I keep on building, and I know that I can build some more. The coloured pencils of choice, my go-tos now are the Derwent Lightfast. I also like the Polychromos. I also like the Luminance, and I think I get different. The pencils feel differently on the different pencils feel differently on this paper, so it's interesting. But I feel that I've been going to with this. I just wanted to say hi, Dee. Hello to you too as well. G'day, Cherry. Hello, you girls. Long time no see. Hello, Janice. Thank you, Janice. Janice is moderating today. Thank you so much. G'day, Lindy, my dear friend. Horsewoman, hello. Nice to see you here. Laramie, you said that for shame, Chrissy, no spirits unless they are the drinking type. Well, it's morning here, so I have had a beverage, but it's been a coffee. Maybe later on this evening I might indulge. And thank you, because I know we talked and you said that, you were going to come on and say hello, so hello to you. Horsewoman says, I'm working on a coloured pencil piece on Stonehenge pad paper, and I don't like it. That's exactly right. This is what I'm trying to say. I've tried it. Oh, hang on, let me just get into this while we're talking, because you know what happens to me. I talk too much without doing work. So I'm going to get into it. The pencil that I'm using here is the Derwent Lightfast Chocolate. Yes, the pad Horsewoman is, yeah, it's not for coloured pencil. Well, it's not for me anyway. You can use it, but I don't think that you're going to get the kind of layers that you would say on this. I'm telling you now, there is a difference. It is different paper. I don't understand it. See, and it's got little decal edges. So it's one great big sheet that I had. It was like, I don't know, it could have been about 50 by 70 centimetres. What's that in inches? I don't know. Maybe 16 by 20? I don't know. It's maybe more. It's a big sheet. And so I just cut this down. And my experience with this paper that I'm using, this Stonehenge, is absolutely delightful. And I can see that I can put a lot more layers. See, I haven't finished his hair. I wanted to get away from there. Sometimes when I spend too long on something, then it starts to get a bit boring, and but I always know how to get back to it, so that's fine. So right now, as you can see, it's a long-standing project, but Nuria, hello. Hello, my dear. How are you today? Abigail, hello. Oh, nice. Okay, Laramie says, I have been preferring mixed media paper personally. The grey or the green blue, yes. Okay, there's this paper there's this mixed media paper by Claire Fontaine, Laramie, that I think, I don't know if you can get that in the States, because I know that you're in the States. I don't know if you can get it. It is fantastic paper. I don't know. I know that I've got it here somewhere. It's on my paper. It's on my paper shelf. So if I knew, I would have had it close by and would have showed you. Ali, hello. Sorry, I meant to say hello to you. Πώς είσαι? Νιώθω καλά σήμερα. There you go. Ali says, how am I today? Ali's feeling well today. Yes, I do read and write Greek and speak Greek. Janet said, oh, okay. No, all good. Is it paint on? It's the one that's got, oh my gosh. You know, at the end of the stream, I'm going to see if I can find it. It shouldn't be that far away from me. I will get it. It's not. It could be paint on, but it's not. It could be paint on. On the cover, there's a watercolor. There's a watercolor palette. There's colored pencil. There's all these different mediums that you could use on it. So it's blue. Sorry, the pigments, the art supplies are blue on white. Paint on. It's up there somewhere. I know it's up there. Okay, the one I have been using mainly is the Strathmore Mixed Media Blue 400 series. Yes, I have that too. That's really, really cool. That's really, really nice paper as well. Yeah. Yeah, I like mixed media. It's really nice to change it up with mixed media, isn't it? And you need a certain kind of a paper. It's got to be quite strong, isn't it? It's really unique, I think. Paulo, hello, greetings to you as well. Yes, it's paint on. Okay, there you go. All right, Janice, thank you so much. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So what kind of things do you like painting then with mixed media? Isn't it funny how we've all got things that subjects that we like? Some would like like botanical art, some like animals, some like landscapes, urbanscapes, seascapes, portraits. So interesting. What is your favourite? What is your favourite things to paint? Or is it that you just want to play? Maybe still life, perhaps. Yeah. It's interesting. With me, I think it's varied. I enjoy portraits. I think it's more or less the subject for me. Yeah. It's more or less the subject attracts me, because I do landscapes. I do enjoy them. I do enjoy portraits. I do enjoy still life, although that's probably it's whilst I enjoy it, probably I enjoy the portraits, and probably the most surreal things is probably what I enjoy. If it's going to be a still life, it probably will have to be a surreal one. I've got to say I am influenced by Mr. Salvatore Dali, who is not with us, but definitely. Okay, this is Luminance, the Luminance Sepia. The Luminance works differently on this surface compared to the Derwent Lightfast. The Derwent Lightfast feel much, although this is a good all-round pencil, so if you were going to rely on one set, this is one of ones, I reckon. The Derwent Lightfast, the core is softer, I find, and it's so much easier to go into the applying on the surface. And of course, different pencils for different things. So for example, the Pablo will help me get into those, because the core is harder. I can get into those little bits of tooth that, you know, and my pressure is very, very light. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me go back. Okay, D says, okay, okay, you've only found 9x12 paint on. I contacted Dick Blick. They say but they so far haven't carried a larger size. Clairefontaine. Well, I know the shop where I work hold Clairefontaine, a lot of different kinds of Clairefontaine paper, and I've bought some before I started working there, and they do ship internationally, so if you ever wanted to, they've got a bigger size than that. D. Laramie says, okay, Abigail says, let me go back, my favourite paper for colour, Janice says, my favourite colour paper for colour pencil, my favourite paper for colour pencil is Arch Hot Press, also a very nice paper. Abigail says, I like everything. I have one sketchbook dedicated to birds, one for portraits. They all look like serial killers, and there are a few more full of everything. Oh, you make me laugh, Abigail. But yes, I have seen your wonderful sketchbooks. They are wonderful. Okay. Okay, Dee says, your ice cream and hikers was amazing. Yes, well, that image, Dee, we'll have to go, and this is a good segue. That image was done, every month I have an inspiration where I, on Share Your Art with Xrissart, every month I have 3 images that I give to the group, or that I've curated, I think that's the word, curated for the group, right? And that was one of them. And it just so happened that we had, there was a person who also is on Patreon, which I will talk about in a moment also, wanted to do the ice cream, but was a little bit, there was a lot going on with this particular reference, so I suggested to do this on Patreon. So I'm right in the middle of it, and Cherry, she's so good, so good. She just went ahead and did it, and you know what? I am so glad. This is what my Patreon is all about, giving you the confidence. And Cherry she just went for it. Go baby go, go baby go, and she did a wonderful job. Alas, I'm in the middle of mine, but mine is 50 centimeters by 35 centimeters. Okay, so I'll talk about Share Your Art with Xrissart. Share Your Art with Xrissart is a Facebook group that that we have, and it was asked for me to set up by our friends here in the chat. I didn't have it, but our friends wanted it, so I went ahead and set it all up. So that's why I say it's ours, where we share our art, but we also share. If you happen to find a really good deal on an art supply somewhere where you think the group might like it, there's that. Or there might be a video that an art video where you think the group might really like that. I'm happy for you to share that. I'm happy for you to share your, your social media, and then we support you and we back you and as much as we possibly can. So that's what Share Your Art with Xrissart is. And so every month we have these challenges. So that's sort of coming away from what Dee was saying. Yes, that is that ice cream. In fact, this month it's birds of a feather, but of course birds of a feather, very surreal feathers. They're really, really nice. We've got a flamingo, and we've got 2 owls, but they look a bit different. They're actually quite lovely. Okay. Laramie says, pastel I use for the refined works of both the landscapes and the creative works. Oh, nice. Ali says, Chrissy, definitely prefer acrylic paint, but sometimes I mix acrylic gouache with it as they are opaque and have a matte finish. Turner and Holbein acrylic gouaches have a beautiful range of colours. Oh, lovely. Abigail says, the drawing really looks amazing. Are you going to use OMS? Well, Abigail, I've been saying all of this time, I'm not going to use OMS, I'm not going to use it, I'm not going to use it. And I gave up. But I ended up using it very briefly just around the face. There is certain areas which I want to make sure that are nice and smooth. So this is a mad scientist. Yeah, mad scientist. Yes. So, but thank you. Thank you. And Cherry says, thank you. I've tried to lighten those shadows now. Okay. Well, see, because what happens, Will from Unmasked Art Club, or Unmasked Art, has an art club, and he's so gracious with his critiques. He's a very good friend of mine and a very good friend of ours here in the chat. And Cherry submitted her painting that she had done, so I was quite proud of it, and it's really good. Will is really fantastic. He's just so gentle and has a lovely approach to teaching. I think he's a wonderful teacher, and he has an art club, and if you're not a member of his art club, I reckon you should be. So yes, very, very nice, very, very nice. And lovely people in their lovely group as well. Let me see. And Ali says, Chrissy, but the colours in the red, pink and purple are not the most Lightfast. I know. Well, alizarin crimson isn't. But I think, what is it? It escapes me. There's one close to alizarin crimson that is Lightfast. I can't think at the moment. Yes, the pinks and the purples, like, opera pink, forget that. Or is it hot pink? It's like these hot pinks. I think it's the hot pink that are not Lightfast. Well, it's the pigment. It's the pigment. I would love to try that aubergine colour in Turner acrylic gouache, as it looks like a purple brown matte. Very, very nice, yes. Okay. Oh, Laramie says Clairefontaine is great paper. It's beautiful paper. Great paper is an understatement. It's beautiful. I mean, they've got pastel matte. They've got their watercolours. It's a paper company, you see. They don't only just have art papers. They've got, you know, gift wrapping papers. They've got all kinds of papers. Yes. Cherry says, yeah, me too, Daniel, and tried. Okay. Oh, hi Vivian. Hello. Hi all. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Yes. So, yeah. So the Pablos work really, really nice on this paper as well. I'm gonna go back to my chocolate. I go back to my Derwent Lightfast. And what's really, really nice, I'm going to try to not. I'll use my paper stumps to blend. And maybe not to push, but just to blend. Oh, look at that, hey. Oh, and I just wanted to show you very quickly how good this is for the kneaded eraser picking up the pencil, okay? Look at that, straight away. So this is what I mean when I say, Horsewoman, this Stonehenge paper is so different to the one that you were using, and I've used the pad. It was disgraceful, honestly. I kept on using the coloured pencil, and I felt like the paper was just about to tear. Yep, to tear. So yeah, so where am I? So there you go. This is what, so when you're using a kneaded eraser with what I'm doing, okay, this is, I think there's got to be the right mix, the right paper for you, and every artist is different. Other artists will use other papers. There are so many papers, of course, you know, but I've tested papers. So, you know, what works for me. So this works really good for me. Yeah. Also, I just wanted to talk about, because I mentioned Patreon as well before, just letting you know that I'm on Patreon. We do where we do unusual and interesting projects, and Patreon with Xrissart is more about giving you confidence. Giving you confidence to do projects which you thought that you couldn't do, just by showing you some very small techniques. And we go slow, we don't go very fast, and there's quite a few projects there to choose from. The only problem with Patreon, it's so hard to find things in there, so that is my pain at the moment. So I'm at the moment trying to set up where you can go from my website, and it'd be a lot easier to find things. And you know, for about 2 cups of coffee a month, you get 12 hours of painting time, drawing time with me. I won't call them, you can call them tutorials if you like, but I think they're painting sessions, and it's more or less me not teaching you, but giving you confidence. Classic example is Cherry. Okay, Cherry, there you go. Cherry says we do fun projects on Patreon there, which was that ice cream, that surreal ice cream actually. Yeah, so yeah, usually I'll live stream, and but you know, you can always see them on, you know, you catch them on the replay as well. Yeah. So that's basically what's been happening for me this week. Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I meant to tell you. One of the projects, we did a few projects. We had 3 projects that we were in the middle of. We finished one, which was the mixing skin tones again. I do that every now and again for those who want practice on mixing colours. That's basically really what it is, just mixing colours and trying to get you know, your lights and your darks in the right places, I suppose. We're also doing a dapple grey project, dapple grey horse project. It is surreal, and it's what we call like a very magical. There's a magical forest and a horse with antlers and one without. Okay, so I was requested. Someone had requested on Patreon if we could paint a dapple grey horse. So, you know, I take requests, and but you know, we turn them into some really interesting surreal subjects. For example, someone wanted a bear with a waterfall or running water or catching a fish, and that's how we ended up doing our bear project. So yes, so very interesting. And Nuria does as well, that's right. Nuria is on Patreon and doing some lovely projects. So yeah, you got a very nice set, Nuria, from your husband. You have to share. Well, you did share, actually. You shared it on Share Your Art with Xrissart. Yeah, so so even if you receive a nice art supply and you want to share, you know, someone like us understands. We understand the love when you receive some really, when you want to share your purchases. Yeah. I haven't bought anything in for a while now, so which is really interesting. I'm thinking of calligraphy now, of all of the things. Like I do so many things. I want to try everything. I think I need about 2 lifetimes to. I think I need 2 lifetimes to do all the things that I want to do. Try all the things I want to try. No tooth? Oh, you've got no tooth on your sorry, horsewoman, you said that you don't have tooth? Yeah, that's what I found when I did mine. Yes, it was a surprise. What a nice surprise. A lovely surprise, hey? Now, I just got to tell you, there's quite a bit of line art on here, and it is quite busy, and I may or may not do all of what I've got on my line art. Thankfully, I've got my kneaded eraser, and I can pick up the graphite that I've used. So this is all right. So I'm thinking that I think it might be just a little bit too busy, and I'll show you why. I'll give you my reference of what I'm looking at. Hang on. If I can get it, hang on. There we go. This fellow here. I'm thinking that it might be a bit too busy, so I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking of maybe, I mean, it's got a nice balance of things, but it's quite possible that I might not put in, say, it's either this or this. I might just put this. I think maybe I'll leave this and I won't put this area in. So at the time when I was designing it, I wanted all of those things in, but now that I've been looking at it, I'm thinking, maybe just a little bit too busy. So that's the fellow. Jelena! Hello, my dear. How are you going? Laramie says, calligraphy can get addicting, and take over your art. Yes, I know, it can. So that's why I'm very careful. He goes, but if you include it in your art things, artwork, art things will work out better. Interesting. Oh, yes. Yes. So, it's just that I've been looking at this. I've got a few things, but I've been looking at the paper for calligraphy. I've noticed, and I don't know too much about it, so you'll have to excuse me. Just let me put this. I'm holding these in my hands. I've been looking at there's this pad of paper where it's got dots, and I thought, oh, how interesting is that? Really want to know what all that is about. I understand about the lines. I understand about that. But yes. And all that wonderful ink. Just, yes. Okay, that's right. Yes. Yes. That's right. Jelena, I know how, that's right. You've sort of said, I'm not going to buy any art supplies. For how long? That's right. Well, let's see what happens. I hope you don't weaken. I'm not strong when it comes to things like that. Okay, dotted paper is like the best of both worlds. Oh, okay. Do you know much about it, Paulo? I saw this calligraphy writing pad, and I thought, oh, I've got to really look into that. I wonder what that's like. Yeah. My problem is time. When am I going to do it? It's really good to have. I would prefer to have this feeling than not being motivated, and I have been there too, I've got to say. So to have the feeling of full motivation, full of inspiration, full of ideas, and no time, like that would be a better problem to have than not being motivated and you've got time. Been there, done that. I don't want to be there. I don't like that feeling. But there's nothing wrong with when you're going through it, because, sometimes like our lives, we've got a lot of things going on in our lives that take up our energy. So, I've been there. So, at the moment I've got frail and aging parents, so I've got to, a lot of my energy goes there, but somehow God is allowing me to have all of the energy that I have here. Oh, I've just gone over there. Look at that. Picking up that with a kneaded eraser. I think it's perfect. So I understand. Sometimes like we lose our mojo, and totally get that. But at the moment I have lots of inspiration, lots of excited. I'm so excited about so many things, and I'm enjoying this coloured pencil because I work a lot in pastel, and I enjoy some other mediums as well, like oils and stuff like that. And you know, I do have a day job, so this is what happens, you know. So try to squeeze everything in. Let me see. Okay, it can be used like, Paulo says, it can be used like lined or squared paper. Laramie says, I got into designing typography. The dotted paper is good for that. Well, and Paulo says, I only use dotted paper at work. Is that right? Ooh, what do you do at work? Do you design, Paulo? Okay, and Laramie says that would, yeah. Okay, oh, Abigail says, I was thinking of using calligraphy on the Christmas cards and use wax seals. Oh, yeah, and that's another thing I want. I've been looking at these wax seals as well. Don't even start me. I want to get one as well. It's so fancy. It's so fancy. Okay, and Cherry says, I remember when writing pads came with a sheet of lined paper to use underneath. I remember that too, Cherry. Whoa, that's going back a bit. I had that when I was a little girl. Oh my gosh, yes. That's when they used to, when we were little, at schools, that's how we call it modified cursive. Well, that's what they used to call it when I was in, you know, like third grade, and that's when we started to learn how to use modified cursive, or how we used to say it when we were little, running writing. That was so funny how we used to say that, but modified cursive. And we had those guidelines, and we used to put it underneath paper, and that's how we used to write. Interesting observation, Cherry. Very nice. Yes. Okay, you can also print the guidelines on an acetate and use it underneath. Ooh. See? I love all of this stuff. I love all of this. This is so interesting. Oh, okay. You can use any kind of paper for calligraphy and use like a sheet of paper underneath with the guide. Yes. Yeah. Jelena says, I'm going to try the no-buy art supplies in the new year. Oh, yeah. But this year, I've just received my other Holbein gouache from Jackson's today. Oh, that's like, you know, when you want to go on a diet and you'll say, okay, I'm going to start my diet on Monday. But then you eat like there's no tomorrow on the Saturday and the sun, you know, just before the Monday. That's okay. I'm just saying, all right? Okay. Okay, I've posted my gouache palette on Facebook for all of you to see. Oh, wonderful. Yes. And Cherry says, so not yet. Stock up well before the new year. Joy, hello, nice to see you. Hi all, how are you? Been a while. You're looking great, Chrissy. Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say that, and thank you for popping in the stream. Hope you are well too. Abigail says, yes, Chrissy, you'll love it. Nibs, pens, glittering, coffee stained paper, darkened edges of the paper, ribbon, and the wax seal. Oh, look at that. That sounds wonderful. Well, Abigail, you are probably the most inspiring member in the group. You, actually there's a few of you in there where you're trying everything. You're trying everything. Polymer clay, sketchbook making, gouache, filling your sketchbooks, oh my gosh, photography, anything that this group can think of, Abigail has tried it. Watercolor, mixing, with mediums, and yeah. Jelena says, you hit the nail on the head. It's just like the diet. I'll start tomorrow. Yes, well. Okay. Can I just say, I've mentioned it before, but these Derwent, the Derwent Lightfast is working beautifully on this paper. I'm being very, very gentle, and I'm just building colours, building layers, and it is really, really lovely to work with. But I've just got to be patient, and as with things, coloured pencil, they take a very long time. What is it? It's very satisfying. I think that's the word. Satisfying. Hard work, but satisfying. Okay. Cherry says, I've even looked at clay this week because of Abigail. Didn't buy it yet. Oh, yes, I know the polymer. Yes. Yes, we've got it here as well, and I've looked at it. There are so many colours, so many tools to buy. But you don't need much, don't you? You don't need much. You know what? And that's a really good way to get into sculpting, I think. Doing sculpture. I have seen, there are some artists that I've seen on YouTube who are traditional oil painting artists and have tried sculpture, doing busts and figurines, and no words. I'm thinking, there's this artist that I've got in my head, and for the life of me, if I could remember her, I would tell you. And she, she's quite not quirky looking, whereas I think I'm a bit quirky, but yeah, she's just very arty looking. Actually, that's not the word. The word is arty looking, and she has done this amazing sculptures. I'm thinking, and she's very surreal, and it's more gothic, I think. More gothic, but really, really nice. She's sculpted beautiful women's figures and in beautiful positions and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, so polymer clay could be a way to go into that, Rob, hello. Robin, hello, welcome. Okay, Abigail says, do try cherry. I'm using dentist tools now with the polymer clay. You can also make pretty jewelry with rhinestones. Oh gosh. Yeah, you can do anything. You're limited by your imagination, definitely. And Joy says, I kind of got obsessed with my yarn and crochet recently. There you go. But still collect art supplies too. I know. Yes. I also like cross stitch. Yes. It's been a while. I have got a cross stitch that I'm smack in the middle of. I don't know how, it's there, but I haven't touched it. See, and it's like when you're reading at night. So the only time that I could probably do it would be in the evening. So when and it's like reading a book. When you read a book and then you can't get past the first page because you start to fall asleep. This is what happens to me. If I was sitting crocheting or embroidering, because I've crocheted before too, Yes, that would be me. I would fall asleep. I would fall asleep. I remember Will and Nugget, we were laughing so much. Yes, I remember that too. Well, I didn't watch that. I wasn't on the live stream because I'd missed the live stream, but then I watched it on the replay and I thought, oh my gosh, why did I miss this one? I rarely missed any of his, but yeah. Yes, that was a very funny sculpture. Yeah, sculpture. How much that cost to get into? I'm not buying any. No buy year. But fun. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay, I had to stop knitting because of arthritis in my hands, but art is okay for them. Wow, that's, you know, I often wonder what would happen if something like that happened to my hand. I would be, I would be devastated. I would be devastated. Okay. Okay, Robin, you're crocheting a granny square cardigan. Oh, do you remember those? We used to make what we call them tank tops when we were younger, and it was like a singlet, right? And it was all crocheted, and we did like little squares, and we sewed them and joined them. That was going back, oh my gosh, dare I say in the 70s? Dare I say? I had one of those. I used to crochet as well. Yeah, polymer, yes, there you go. Polymer clay is so much fun. Yes, Janice, yes. Okay, Dee says, I do all kinds of PT painting, even for my hands, hoping to avoid the arthritis. Yes, yeah. Painting, was that painting? All kinds of, sorry. Yes, I start to get worried when something happens, if I get a pain in my wrist or anything like that. So I try to be as careful as I possibly can. This colour that I'm using is chocolate, Lightfast, for all of those who are thinking what am I using, and it's just going beautifully on this paper. Wow. Again, I know I've said it, just beautiful. I might even try mixed media on this paper. I mean, this is printing paper, so I don't know. Anything. I reckon you could do anything on here. There's this ant. Ant was just about to crawl. Oh, physical therapy. Sorry. No, that's okay. Sorry. Yeah, mine is through typing for 50 plus years, yes. Yeah, the repetitive movement is so hard on joints, yes. Yeah, I've done it for a long time. Well, where I am, I don't do much typing now. I used to do a lot of typing myself. I don't do as much now, which is super cool. Okay, Robin says, nearly doubled up on art supplies the other day. Watched a tutorial on liquid watercolor and thought I needed some in my life. Then I was in my studio and found schminker kit I bought ages ago. There you go. Oh, so Robin, you're like us, that like you have a lovely collection of oh look, there's an ant. Seriously, I got an ant. I don't know where that's coming from. Come on, out you go. A lovely selection in your art box. There you go. Okay, what paper is it? This one. Hi, hi, Mumble. Hello. Nice to see you here. Okay. Nuri says, does anybody know about Jane Davenport soft pastel? They are like pan pastel, but in makeup sizes. Oh, I don't know. I've never heard that. Must have a look. Not me. I'll have a look. Rob says, what paper is it? This is Stonehenge, not the paper, not the pad. Okay, the sheets. There is a difference. Big difference. Big difference. This is, yes. Yep. Oh, okay, Janice, you're about to go. Nope, no problem, no problem. Talk to you soon again. Okay, bye. Okay. Cherry says, yeah, I looked at those two and wondered. The Jane Davenport soft pastels. I'll have a look. I'm gonna have to write this one down. I'm not going to remember this off by heart. What was it? Jane Davenport. Soft pastels. I'll look that up. Just when I think I know that about all of the pastels on the market, I don't. There you go. I don't. You don't know if they are good. Okay. Well, I suppose. Are they from the US or are they European or are they from the UK? Yeah, so I'm going to see if I can do some research and find out. Oh, okay. You have seen them, Abigail? Okay. What do they say? If you've seen them, is there any write-up about them or anything like that? So as you can see, it is sort of a little bit grainy because these are, hang on, these are our initial, now I'm just going to bring it up. I'm not going to zoom in, but there we go. So it is a little bit grainy at the moment for those who are asking. So, but if you were using the Stonehenge, the pad, you wouldn't be able to get this grainy feel look at the moment. You wouldn't be able to get the layers that I'm doing now. Like I'm just going ahead and I need to make this as solid as I can. Without putting too much pressure and without ruining the tooth of the paper. I'm very, very careful. So, but having said that, yeah. But the Derwent Lightfast are really nice on there. Okay. Okay, Jane Davenport has a small selection of colours, but very good quality. She is Australian. Oh, really? How did I not know that? They are from Australia. Are they really? Shame, Chrissy, shame. How do I not know this? I'm going to have a tough look. Definitely. Yes. Okay, so what do you think about Arsh hot water paper compared to Stonehenge sheets? Okay. They're comparable. Okay. You will be able to get a ton of layers on the Arsh hot press paper as well. You can definitely. This is more, although I find that this is more toothier. The Stonehenge is just a little bit more toothier and a little bit softer. I feel that the hot press paper is more tightly, well, it's cotton, you see. The Arsh hot press watercolor paper is cotton. This is not cotton. That's the difference. But still, color pencil is wonderful. With if you've got the Arsh hot press paper, definitely. And that it doesn't matter whether it's on pads or in sheets or anything like that. It's the same. But I really don't know why the pad is separate to the sheets. They should just make sheets, pads of this paper. I don't understand. Anyway. Okay. Here we go. Robin says, website says there are 4 palettes, each with 18 colours. There are 54 matte hues and 18 shimmering marbleized highlighters. Ooh. I'm going to have a look at those. Okay, thank you. I will try on Arsh hot press and order the sheets of Stonehenge. It'll be interesting when you get those, horsewoman, sorry. It would be interesting what your opinion is, because we're all different, right? So, yeah. We're all very different. Abigail says, Jane Davenport works in Europe as a designer for many years, but she is asked in Australia, she is asked in Australia, she lives in Australia now and has her own style of mixed media, very bright colours. I love her work. I'm going to go, have a look. Says you can use them on normal paper. Oh my gosh. Definitely going to have a go at that. Definitely going to have a look at that. Yes, worked. Okay. She is asked to work in Australia. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm just working on, this is the Luminance on here, and the core is harder if we're working straight on this paper. Yeah, nice. It's nice. And of course I'm only using very, very light layers, and there's circular motion as well. So, as opposed to much softer, the Derwent Lightfast. I think probably the initial layers with Derwent Lightfast on here first, and then build up with the Luminance or even the polys. Have I got any of the polys by my side here that I could use? No, but I know that the polys work really nice on here too, from memory. I'm just trying to look at, Oh, well, hang on. Let me just try here on the side. This is the poly. Yeah, nice. Yeah, really nice. Yeah, the polys probably, the Derwent Lightfast, then the polys, then the Luminance for me. Yeah. It's a much softer, and it's gliding on the paper, the polys, and the Derwent Lightfast are gliding on. And then let's see if it comes off. Oh, look at that, lovely. It comes off, well, not altogether, but you know, not bad, with the kneaded eraser. So a paper that can work this way with the kneaded eraser picking up the pigment, that's one of the most important things. Yeah. Yeah. Damn autocorrect, have a go. No, it's all right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not sure whether you can hear. You might be able to hear the pencil, maybe not. But sometimes, you know, when there's a nice sound as well, and it's like cooking, for example, when you know that something is ready. So if you're say you're cooking, you're frying onions ready to do a spaghetti bolognese, like your bolognese sauce. Well, I put onions. So sometimes you can hear that the onions are cooked by that certain sizzle. And it's the same with this. When there's a really nice sound when I'm applying it on the surface. It's nice and smooth. It's not gritty. Yes, there's a nice sound, or with the different. So let's have a look how this sounds for me. And you would, and this is it's a bit louder. It's a bit louder, meaning that the core this is the Luminance, where the core is just a little bit harder than the Derwent Lightfast. Still nice, but yeah. So I would use this afterwards, after I've built up my base layers, where it's nice and soft. Yeah. Yeah. No birds today. Oh yes, they're out there. But maybe not as much. Actually, you can hear them, maybe. But they're not as busy this morning as they usually are. Yes. Yes. You love them both, yeah. The pencils we're talking about. Pencils instead of, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you hear them now? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I have to... I might show you what we're doing on Patreon just before we go, just to give you an idea of some of the surreal projects that we do on Patreon. And the paper, I've got to remember, see if I can find the paper that's paint on. I'm not quite sure if I can find it, but I'll try. I don't think. I might have to take a photo of it and share it on Share Your Art with Xrissart. That's probably the best thing. Yes, that'll be better. There you go. I'm very careful not to press too hard, because you could easily burnish with these and it will become quite solid. I just don't want to do that just yet. So for those who use coloured pencil, what is your favourite style? Is it, do you, or is it that you use OMS, or do you not use anything and you use blenders like this, or tortillions like this, or do you burnish? These three things. Are you the burnisher, or are you the person that likes to you know, use layers? I'm probably I don't have to use the OMS. It all depends, but I'm not going to rely on the OMS. I also like to use coloured pencil as it is, and to show some of the grittiness. I mean, in this project, I was just a bit conscious of this, but still, there's a fair amount of grittiness here. Gotta run, see you all later. Okay, Dee, thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate your time. Okay, you've got the line art for this Xrissart. I thought I downloaded it at some point. Yes, it's on Patreon. It's on Patreon. This line art is on Patreon. Yes. Yes. For those who wanted to tackle this. I mean, you could do anything. You could make it as big as you want and use pastel, or maybe you could use watercolor. You can do lots. You can do anything. You can maybe not have certain bits if you don't want. Artistic license. That's what we call it. Artistic license. So for those coloured pencil, people, okay. What do you So how do you like to work? Do you have to have, or have to use, OMS? Or are you quite happy just to use coloured pencil, light layers and build up? Or do you just burnish right from the get-go? It probably depends on the, maybe the area, the subject, or the subject area. At the moment, I'm quite happy to layer. And then, for me, then at the end, when I'm confident that this is what I want, and it's always at the end, one of the last things, that's when I would burnish. Because when you burnish, it's very hard with the tooth. You've just about, done your dash, and you can't do much more. Yeah. I just bought brush and pencil, textured fixative to try. I also have the colourless blender powder from them. Yes, I have two, but I haven't used them as much as I thought that I would use them. Interesting. But then again, I haven't done that many coloured pencil projects, so there is that. Laramie says, depends on what I'm trying to achieve with the colour pencil project. I will use whatever I need to get the look. atmosphere and feel of the piece. What a lovely reply. I love that. That's very much, yes, I like that reply. Very nice. Jelena says, I use a little OMS, then after that I just layer. Interesting. And Rob says, I've tried it all but not sure I like OMS. I use a colorless blender. Ooh, like this one, for example. This one is the Caran d'Ache one. It is, let me see. Oh, have I got it? Oh, I've got one where I've already sharpened. There it is. See, it's one that I've, there you go. So it's one that I've got here, which I really like. Okay, Horsewoman says OMS or layers preferred. Okay. Okay, and Abigail says, I find that the colorless blender makes the color so pale. Interesting. We should, yeah, I suppose it does because of the wax. Do you know what I mean? I suppose, well, you know, the wax. I wonder if, I do have the Derwent one. That's the one, yeah. I do have the Derwent one in my paint box, but I find that I've been using this one, and it's been all right. It's been all right, but yes, I do think that too sometimes. And yet, how hard do you press? You know, do you put all your force in it, or do you put as much force as necessary to blend the colours? You know, so this is, you know, this area here, it has taken a while, and my pencil hasn't been too sharp. I've been using it's sort of the core, so you can see it's been nice. You can't, maybe you can't see it, but there's like a it's very, very gentle. It's not as sharp, and I've been very, very gentle with it, so you'll see there is a blunt side, but then there's a little sharp side where I can get into, like, say for example, the corner. But in this area I don't need it super, super sharp. All I want to do is lay down some pigment in this area. Okay, okay, you were referring to the powder. Oh, I see. I get you. Okay, all right. Okay, gotcha. I understand now. Okay. Robin says, I'm really using watercolor pencils as my underpainter. Yes, and I've seen your lovely pooches. Then using them either dry on top or use color pencil for detail. Oh, yes. Yes, and I've seen them, Robin. Really, really nice. And you've shared them as well with us, which is really, really nice as well. Laramie says, anyone else do saturation burnishing? Yes. I have done a colored pencil project where I was burnishing much more. Like I would do, say, a layer like this, and once I was confident that that's where I wanted the colors to be, then I burnished. Yes, I have done it, but it's not something that I do that I do. You know, trying different techniques, I suppose. And that was, I believe, on hot press paper. Was it hot press paper? By Arsh. That was, yeah, so I think sometimes when you're trying out papers, say for example, you've got like a little sample piece, say for example like this, right? And you test your coloured pencil out. Well, that's one way to get a feel of what this pencil is. But it's another thing to be able to do it on a project. So even if it's a small 4x6 or something, it's always best to test out techniques on a little project. That way you can chop and change. That way you can make it lighter, darker. That means you can use maybe OMS, not use OMS. I believe that that's the best way to try out papers, techniques, by doing a little project. Yeah. Jelena says, Chrissy, for your piece, which blending method are you going for? Okay, the blending method I'm going to be using mostly, it's mostly the blending stumps and my the colourless blender from Caran d'Ache. I have used some OMS. I just wanted things to look a little bit more solid around the face, seeing that that is the focal point. I did do that, yes, but I'm trying to get away from using the OMS in this if I can get away with it. So my blending preference for this project will be the stumps and the Caran d'Ache, or the blender, any kind of blender, you know. So that's my preferred for this project. Okay, what's saturation burnishing? Laramie, please explain. Okay, you make me want to use my watercolor pencils again. I love your work. Yes, and Robin is also quite creative and trying new things. I think that's the good thing, trying new if you can, if things permit. It's good to try things, because you just don't know where it's going to lead. Truly, you just don't know. Yeah, that's how I discovered so many of my techniques. Sometimes I was that's how I discovered the pan pastel one, where I was using the bristle brushes. I did see a lady using a very small brush to do just a particular area on something, and that was like a long time ago. But then I thought, oh, brushes? I wonder if we use this brush for that. I wonder if we use this brush for that. And I just couldn't believe it. I was so pleased that I was able to get details using the pans by just using the bristle brushes. But again, you know, like I'll use everything I can get my hands on, you know, anything, you know, I chop up brushes, I chop up things, anything that will give me the outcome I'm looking for. That's always the case. Okay, here we go. Saturation burnishing is when you use lighter colours to burnish a piece. Used for skin tones often, but I have used it to create different atmosphere in pieces. Yes, like for example, you'd be using, say, a light colour to burnish. Some people do that. Or it's a technique that you can use instead of the colourless blender, that is. Oh, thank you, Jelena. Okay, I've also bought, and Robin says, I've also bought some stencil brushes, the other day. Apparently they are good for blending. Also good for texture in animals in watercolour. Look at you. Look at you trying all of these fantastic techniques. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And Cherry says, I'm still trying to progress from colouring in books with Prismas. Okay. Robin says, wonder how they'll go with pans. I'll try that too. Interesting. Okay, that is Will's video. Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Laramie. Oh, okay. I've done that, but didn't know it was called that. Okay. Abigail says, I was playing MacGyver last week. Oh, yeah. Melting crayons and adding pigment to it, and it was not a success. Oh, okay. Isn't that funny when you say MacGyver, we instantly know what that is. Wow. What, making something out of nothing and it turns out fantastic. Oh, Robert says I'm a YouTube addict, Chrissy. So long as you're watching mine, that's good. Only joking, only joking. I'm grateful for people that watch my videos and live streams. I do appreciate it so much. You have no idea. Yes, MacGyver. Yes, yeah, I like that. You make me laugh, Abigail. Yeah. Do apologise for this going slow, but this is coloured pencil, right? Not as quick as, say, for example, loose pastel drawings, paintings. But did you learn something? Is the important? Absolutely, yeah. Okay, yes, I'll share so you can laugh too. Oh, okay. All right, put it on Share Your Art with Xrissart. We'll have a giggle. Okay, I just wanted to show you something. This is what we're doing on Patreon, just to give you an idea of the kind of projects we're doing. Just one moment. Because I mentioned this earlier on the stream. Here we go. This is a project that we are doing, and of course these are all just base layers and still so much to do. So this is with this is the pastel matte board, light blue. As you can see, it's not the paper. It is about 50 centimeters by about 35 centimeters. What else is it? Could be more actually. 30, I think 50 by 40, I think. And there's still lots to do. So yes, this is what we're doing on Patreon. So as promised, I'll just put this aside just for a moment. Hang on. Maybe, what's this? Maybe I'm too impatient for coloured pencils. Well, look how long, and I'm nowhere near finished this area. It does take a while. This is where I think when you're doing something like this is listening to an audio book is really good. There's this really good audio book that I'm listening to, and I can only get to listen to it in the car on my way to my my day job. But I really want to listen to my book and find out what's going on next. So something like this is really good to do. It'll make you sit in your chair long enough, and you'll be surprised at how far you'll go. So there's one way to do it, Cherry. And Robin says, not sure I'm patient enough for 100% colour pencil. I'm trying one at the moment. I'll share later. Okay, cool. Oh, thank you, Nuria. Thank you, Abigail. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah. I'd never heard what a dapple grey horse was. Well, I'm not a horsey person. I mean, I love horses, but I didn't know. I know what an Arabian is. I know, certain types of horses, like Clydesdales. I know certain ones, but I didn't know about the dapple greys. And they've got like a different face. Like the Arabian has got like this narrow bit before it goes into its nostrils, just an elegant, beautiful horse. I think, the Arabians, I think, are just gorgeous. But yeah, but you can see the difference in the in their faces, so that was interesting. And Robin says, I should do this project for my daughter for Christmas. Her first and best horse is a grey. Ooh. TB. You'll have to tell me what TB means. The new owner contacted us the other day. He has cancer and will be put to sleep soon. Oh, poor boy. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a shame. Silke, hello. How you going? Hi everyone, and Chrissy. I know you are finishing soon, but 7 a.m. on Saturdays is really too early for me, so at least I want to say hello. Oh, Silke, you are such a sweetheart. Thank you so much. It's so nice of you to pop by and say hello. Abigail, it depends on the paper, either watercolour or markers. Okay. Jelena says, I'm really focused on my art when I'm listening to an audio book. Very relaxing. See, that's me, Jelena. That is me. And I'm going to see if I can finish my audio book. Well, I won't be able to, but if I sit down and do this coloured pencil project, I reckon I'll get a lot done on this. That's for sure. So definitely. Yes. So I was just sort of giving you an insight on the projects that we were doing there. So, I mean, I'm not saying, I'm saying for anyone who's discovering, this is what I mean, anyone who is discovering and wants to have a crack at some of these, and it's all in real time. Every mistake, every hit, every miss is on Patreon. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it works magnificently. How about that? Again, I'll give you the confidence. That's all there is to it. Giving you the confidence to go off and do your own thing, how you want to do something. So in this particular instance, someone wanted to do a dapple grey, wanted to know how to do the dapple grey. Of course, I'll do it in a different style, but then I'll show you how I do it. And, there is a bit of artistic license. I do change things up as well, and tell you why I'm doing it and tell you what I'm thinking. Yeah. Okay, all grey horses end up with cancer. Do they really? Do they really, Robin? Is that right? Oh. Audio book and art making go well together. Multitasking. Yes. Yes. That's sad. I didn't know that. How do you know that? Didn't know. I did not know. All right. Okay. So for those who are wondering what I've been using today, I've been using the Caran d'Ache Luminance and the Derwent Lightfast, in particular the chocolate and the sepia, and just building up. I'm doing his like his pinafore or his overalls, or however it is that you call them in your countries, but you know, they're usually overalls, I suppose. This is his shirt here, so I'm going to be working on this area. But just wanted to say, thank you so much for popping in to say hello. Thank you so much for those who will watch this on the replay. Yeah, I'm just so glad that that you're here and we're able to spend time together. Robin says, Knackery will not buy them for meat because of it. Is that right? Jeez, didn't know all of this stuff. You're very clever, Robin. Very knowledgeable too. Yes, yes. Well, anyway, thank you so much for keeping me company and for us keeping each other company. I will, God willing, I will be here next week, and we'll talk to you again. So have a lovely weekend and have a lovely week as well. Bye for now, everyone.